everyone. Welcome to the Set Point Podcast, the channel that talks about volleyball, leadership, team building, and much more. My name is Cesar Benacci, and I'm here with my brother, Peter Bistocchi. How are you, brother?
What up, Cesar? Hello, everyone. Ready to take notes, eyes and ears open. Let's talk volleyball and much more.
Yes, and today we're doing our first episode in English of 2025, and we're excited to welcome to this show our friend, soccer coach, mental performance specialist, Thales Peterson. Thales, welcome. Thank you for giving us this opportunity, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
All right, so we're before we start our conversation here, Thales, we have a little sponsor that helps us with our podcast, especially in Portuguese. When we talk about them, we talk about people that want to come to the United States and do the same path that we did. Okay, so all three of us have been here for a while, coming from Brazil. Thales is also Brazilian, so he did the same path that we did, but right now it's way easier because we have our partner Nexus Next that helps Brazilians to come to the United States and find an opportunity here. And if you want to come to the United States, you have a friend, a Brazilian friend who wants to come to the United States, just access the QR code here, talk to Lucas Negrin, that he will help this person to get an opportunity here and try to explore how many options, Peter Bristocchi, that can Brazilians can have to come to the United States?
187.
187. 187. That's absurd. But yes,
187 ways to come legally.
legally.
Legally
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
US.
Yeah. And Lucas Negrin is the guy to help your Brazilian friend. Or if you're Brazilian and you understand English and you're listening to this podcast, get in touch with him that he will help you. Okay. So now, talking a little bit about Thales here. He is right now he's a mental performance coach, but he's been a soccer coach for a while. So he uh, worked for FC Golden State for he lived in California for a long time. Was with FC Golden State for many years, and LA Force here in Los Angeles, California, where I live now. Um, was the head coach for U.S. Soccer Development Academy. Was a professional coach with LA Force, of course, and was the director of coaching at uh, where is I'm lost. Oh, the director at DME Sports Academy, and now he has his own project of mental performance that is called the 1% Club. So we're gonna talk about this in a little bit, but Thales, just tell us how was your history as a player, as a coach until you got here to the United States.
Yeah, so it all started. I came um, when I was still in high school. I came to the US. My dad had a friend that I ended up connecting with him years later. So basically, I was still in high school, came over here, and was still in the path of trying to become a professional player back home in Brazil. I used to play both soccer and tennis. So I was we'll dive a little bit deeper into that as well, how it was kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time doing two sports. So I ended up not coming back to the US to go to college. I decided to stay in Brazil and try to become a professional soccer player. And I ended up going to school afterwards. I wasn't quite good enough to make it as a professional soccer player in Brazil. As everybody knows, it is extremely difficult. You either make it big time or you're going to struggle from small club to small club. So I decided to go to school. I went to college. And while in college, I reconnected with the same guy that had brought me years later to the US. I started working for him. He has a soccer company that they do camps, clinics, coaching, education, and things like that. So he became my very first mentor. and I started working for him while in college still. And as soon as I graduated, I had an opportunity to come to the US, to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico first.
Mhm.
That's where I first came. I was only supposed to be here for 3 months, and that was March of 2004, and I never went
Oh,
back after that.
Those are
that's
long 3 months.
long 3 months. That's a
So it started
20
back
years
there.
months.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow. I'm curious to hear why playing through sports where it was a blessing and a cursing.
Because I didn't have the mental strength and resilience to go through the hardships that are normal to happen. So instead of facing them head on, I would avoid and go to the other sport. So when tennis got
Mm,
tough, instead of persisting and trying and going through the adversity, I would, okay, now I'm going back to playing soccer and vice versa. I would do
okay.
both. So I would go back and forth between the two.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That was something that probably you probably use a lot with your work nowadays, right?
That's the
You're
number one reason why I started that.
It's
Yeah.
the number one reason. No, all right. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So that's very, very interesting. And then you came to the United States as a camp coach, right?
Yeah.
So how was this beginning as a you came here to stay 3 months, you've been here for 20 years. How was the beginning of this path?
So I was living in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I would travel throughout the whole country doing camps in the summer, but I would be based in Albuquerque. And the
Okay.
family was just unbelievable, amazing. They're still my American family to this day.
Hmm.
We're still in touch whenever they come. They used to come to LA more often, but I've been in touch with them quite a few times after I have moved out of New Mexico. They are my family. We send Christmas cards and everything. We're still in touch to this day. And that was a big reason why I ended up staying in the US, was because they really adopted me as part of their own family. So I stayed there for a little over a year. And then right after that, the company that I was working for had a base here in Florida, in Miami. So I moved to Miami to be at their headquarters. So they were bought by Traffic Sports that had Miami FC at the time, where Romario and Zinho, and they were back in the USL when Miami was trying to get a professional soccer team. So I worked with them for a little while. And then after that, the company kind of uh, dismantled, and we were told that we wouldn't have a job anymore. So what happened was I contacted a friend in California that he went to Brazil one time to do a coaching education, and I was the one that picked him up from the airport and took him to the facility that was about 2 hours away. So we got talking, and I was one of his instructors for the coaching license. So when things didn't work out in Florida, I gave him a call and I said, "Hey, Mike, I'm in Florida here, but I don't have a job at the moment. And you had told me that soccer in the US, the best place to be is California. So I'm just wondering if you have anything out there for me." And he said, "Let me get back to you in a couple days." So he called me back and he was like, "Hey, I got a place for you to stay. I got a team for you to coach. Are you willing to come out?" So I packed all my bags. I had 2 suitcases at the time, and I packed everything, went to Burbank Airport, didn't know who was going to pick me up, didn't know what to expect, didn't know where I was staying, but I had a lot of faith, a lot of hope. I got on the plane, landed in California, and that's how my journey started there.
That's
Wow.
great. That's awesome.
You know, there are a lot of similarities between your story and mine, like with having, only a few suitcases and, a lot of willpower to do something and make a difference. No, I want to ask you, Thales,
Mm. I'm gonna step up for one moment. My heater is cooking me here. Real quick.
uh, so in soccer, right? What were the biggest lessons that you learned from coaching soccer that you carry on to your mental coaching career today? So how that experience helped you as a coach now, because you told us you played, but now as a coach, um, what what is there in soccer that you carry on in what you do today?
I think it's not just soccer. I think it's sports in general.
Okay.
Any sport that you do, regardless if the sport is a team sport or individual sport, all you are in charge of is your own mind, your own emotions, your own feelings. So even example, you guys are volleyball coaches. It is a team sport, but what you control is yourself. You can help your team in soccer, you can help your team as well, but ultimately, what you are in charge of is your mind. So, what I carry with me till today is the fact that if you learn how to handle yourself in a better way, you will become a better teammate, a better person, a better leader, a better overall person that is aware of what you can and what you cannot control. Because a lot of times we, because of a lack of knowledge, we let external factors really, really influence and change our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. So through self-knowledge and self-awareness, you become a better player, a better coach, a better leader, because you understand that ultimately I am the boss of my own mind. I do not control anything else. I don't control the referee. I don't control the opponent. I don't control my teammates. I don't control my coach. I don't control the outcome of a game. What I control is how I deal with what is coming towards me. So understanding that to me is the number one thing that I would love people to be more aware of is you're the boss. You're the only one inside. So it's learning how to take control of that. And it's a gradual process. It happens little by little. It does not happen overnight.
Before I head it over to Cesar, I just wanted to ask you one question before we start talking about the 1% Club.
Yep.
Um, you deal a lot, so you work a lot with athletes, and our audience here is comprised a lot by coaches. You know, in Brazil, PE teachers. And is there any difference, or would it have any difference in the way that you work with athletes if you were to work with coaches as well? Because what you just said, which was incredible, by the way, and we firmly believe that too, um, doesn't only apply to athletes, right? Coaches are in a leadership position, and Cesar talks about leadership all the time, and
A
so,
little bit.
right, how does that impact the coach? What the coach does?
I think that the leadership to me starts from within. So you have to first lead yourself and then you lead others. So it all starts with being self accountable, having values, being honest with yourself, with what you want to achieve, what you want to accomplish. So I think talking about PE teachers, it really is, if you've decided to be a PE teacher, for sure, you are not after becoming rich. You are not after money. So you are after fulfillment. So to me, you get that kind of fulfillment when you see your students, when you see the people that you are in charge of responding to the things that you want them to accomplish. And my point of view is, as a PE teacher, the only thing that you can really do is help your students, and I'm just going to say a term here, is help them wake up, help them see that they are able to become better than they were before. And I think nowadays, because of social media and the way the world is, we're killing ourselves with comparison. Oh, but someone else is taller, stronger, faster, more beautiful, skinnier, more muscular. You are who you are. That is one thing that you cannot change. You were born in a way, for whatever reason, if you believe in God, the universe, whatever. Genetically is something that you are not able to change who you are. So it's accepting and making sure that the students understand you can become a better person. You may not be an Olympic athlete, you may not be a professional athlete, but you can become a better person through understanding your body, through being a little bit healthier, through eating a little bit better, exercising, taking care of your body to get through to your mind. If that makes sense for a student, I think that's something that a PE teacher can really do, is teach them how to become better people. And better people comes by understanding who they are. So self-awareness, self-knowledge for the school setting where the kids are there. And I think a lot has changed with PE from when I grew up. We had PE basically every day. And now I think it's very limited the time that you have. So how can I make the most impact with the limited time that I have? And even for the PE teacher, is not, oh, I wish I had more time. Well, I wish I had more money too, but I don't. So what can I do with what I have? If I have 1 hour a week, it's going to be the best 1 hour that I can to make an impact, so the kids will carry whatever they learn in that 1 hour for the rest of the week, until next week I have an opportunity to change their lives again. So it's really, love what you do it from the heart, do it with passion, and do something that the kids can really make them think, make them understand that, oh wow, okay, that's awesome, that's great, I didn't think from that point of view. And sorry, I expanded a little bit here, but to
No, that's amazing. That's so good.
the yeah, so to me, the PE is, he's a leader of his own classroom or his own court or whatever he's doing for that week. Is, what can I do to help these kids become more self-aware, become better in whatever they're doing, if it's as a kid, as a student, as a brother, as a sister, as whatever they decide to do, they can all be better. That's for sure.
That's really good.
Incredible. Yep.
That's really good. And you as a soccer coach, you did exactly what you're telling the PE teachers, the volleyball coaches that follow us here. You did that yourself, right? For many years as a coach, and now you developed your own methodology, right? The 1% Club, which is really, really cool. So tell us, what's the 1% Club? How do you uh, classify the 1% Club?
So I have two different things. Number one is I have a mentoring program where I work with individuals one-on-one that are part of the 1% Club. And I have developed the methodology that I call the Mind Flex method. So we'll go first. The 1% Club it's the concept is very simple, yet it's the hardest thing to do, to implement, which is being better than you were the day before by 1%. And that means every single day, no exceptions. So the concept is very, very simple. And the reason why I say it's the hardest thing to do is that to me is the full understanding of what accountability means. If I do it, it's on me. But if I don't do it, that's also on me. So I go by three mantras that I hold in my own life, which are one more day, one more battle, 1% better. So one more day, I am a very spiritual guy. I believe in God, and I believe that we're here for a much, much higher purpose than just ourselves. So every day that we wake up in the morning to me is a blessing. I don't feel like we are in charge of a whole lot. So if he has given me another opportunity to be here, I am not going to take it for granted. So that's what the one more day means. One more battle, the battle is always me against me. So for whoever is listening, watching, the battle is always you against you. What you are in charge is your own mind. And then the 1% better is you don't have to do a whole lot, but it has to be done on a daily basis. So it's just 1%. And when you get to a point where you've been doing and you've been improving and getting better for a number of years, you're not going to get 1% better every day because it's too much. So if it's 0.001%, that also counts. So what I've broken down to, which is the least that you can do on a daily basis to me, and we'll get more depth about what the Mind Flex method is, but what I've broken down into the least that you can do to become more self-aware and to become better than you were the day before is as simple as taking one deep, conscious breath. You're breathing every second of the day. The moment that you're born taking a breath until when you die, you take your last breath. So every day you're breathing. You're not consciously breathing. So what I want you to do is take one deep conscious breath of gratitude. I'm here. I'm alive. Thank you. So it's as simple as one. It takes 1 second. So that's why I say it's the full understanding of being accountable is, so if I give you a task that is as simple as, oh, I didn't do it because I didn't have time. You're not being honest with yourself. You didn't do it because you didn't have that in mind. You didn't have that on top of your consciousness. You were not aware of what that means. So to me, my methodology, and we'll get into, is that okay? Can I expand now or?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So the Mind Flex method is, I don't believe in mindset. So my goal one day, hopefully, is to be able to change the understanding that the term mindset, to me, it has to be viewed in a different way because I don't believe the mind is set. I believe the mind is flexible. The mind is like a muscle. We have the ability to change our mind. So we talk about growth mindset. So yes, we're growing our mind, but the term itself, it's saying that the mind is set. So to me, you can, and I can go a little bit deeper into that, is the mindset can, to me, can be viewed in two different ways. One is the mind isn't set, and the second way in English would be that that's the set, like a movie set, that your mind plays the movie of life. Where do you live? You live inside. Where do you see things? What's the set that you see your life? It's in your mind. So it's the set that you see mind, where you project things, right? You don't see things in your brain. It's not the brain. It's a higher level that is able to create thoughts that is called mind. So it's a plane of a different energy field, let's just say, that mind plays the game of life. If I ask you now, can you see a volleyball? Yeah, you can. Where do you see it? You don't see it in your brain. You see it in your mind. So you see it in a higher level. So to me, the concept of mind flex is I am going to change my mind to become flexible. And I've sent it to you guys, and hopefully later we can put it on the screen. So the mind flex method is, so the I and the percent sign is in that. So the way you change your mind, the way your mind becomes flexible is 1% at a day. It's 1% at a time. It's little by little. It's not going to be overnight. So my method is every day means every day. Saturday, Sunday, holidays, feel good, don't feel good. You're playing, you're a starter, you're the best volleyball player on your team. You are not the best. So I prepare you to be able to face adversities. So when the going gets tough, that's when I want you to become aware. That's when I want you to take one deep breath. When you are able to,
This, right?
there you go. Yes.
So mind flex. That's
So
very
it's
cool.
changing the mind 1% at a time. So that's exactly the meaning of how do I change my mind? Oh, coach, what do I need to do to have a stronger mindset? Well, have a mind flex. Change your mind 1% a day. So it's the
That's
day
very cool.
so it's the day that you don't feel good. I don't really think that you need any help when you're playing, when you're starting, when you were one of the better players on your team and everything is working out for you. You go to the gym, you work out, you're feeling motivated. That's great. Don't even remember that I exist. But the moment that you don't play, you feel sorry for yourself, you are going through the lows, that's the moment that you need to do it, because your mind is telling you, no, don't do it, don't do it. Just today. You know what? Today you're going to do double. No, you don't. It doesn't work like that. Every day means every day, because it's what we call the compound interest of self-development. When I'm going through the hardships, that's going to define my character. That's going to be that leader. That's going to be that guy when you are 2 sets down and the other team has a match point and you save the match point. That's going to be that guy that's going to tell you, come on, we can do it. I've been there before. And not the guy that will go, we're 2 sets down. It's a matter of time. We're going to lose it. No, no, no. It is the guy that knows, am I going to go through adversities? Yes. Can I learn how to handle adversity? Yes. And that's now when we go back to me being a soccer and a tennis player. That's who I was. I was that guy. The going got tough. What would I do? Go to the different sport. You feel better there. So I didn't know how to deal with my own mind. That's why I'm so passionate now to teach others is You are going to face hardships. You are going to face difficulties. If you don't know how to handle them, learn. And how do you learn? Little by little, every day. You don't have to do it a whole lot, but you have to do it little by little. When we learn how to do math, when we learn how to walk, when we learn how to play an instrument, when we learn anything, it happens progressively. So it's little by little. And I'm sorry, I went on too long without giving you guys a chance.
No, it's all right.
I can go on and on.
No, we're here to learn, and we love that.
I don't want to talk. I don't
No,
want to talk. No, no,
I
just
don't want
keep
to talk
going. Keep
exactly.
going.
Yeah, no, we love that. We love that. That's so good. That's so good. This concept of mind flex is very very interesting. Yeah, we have to get Dr. Kara Dweck here to discuss that. That'll be cool.
Right.
That'll be an interesting
Imagine
conversation,
that.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for your book.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming
Oh
sometime.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, Thales, we mentioned here that this podcast is really directed to coaches, to people that educate athletes, not athletes, of course, but mostly for coaches. So, so let's go back to relating your coaching career to this new career. Why did you choose to get out of soccer coaching to start 1% Club?
It kind of it happened in a way that is it's a combination of things. So I in 2020 during the pandemic, I went through the hardest moment of my life for sure. I um, I focused a whole lot on my career. So I've accomplished a lot of things in my career. So I started a club from the ground. We didn't even have a name or anything, and that club became a professional team one day. So I was the head coach of a professional team that I had started more than 12 years prior to that. So that took a very long time, effort, and energy. So on the professional side, I was on top of the world. I had accomplished one of my longest dreams, which was to coach at a professional level. And that happened with my own club, the club that I had started. But my family side suffered. So I ended up getting divorced. So I lost a business that I had. I used to bring kids from Brazil to go to school and play soccer at the club I had. So during the pandemic, everything went downhill. So I was divorced, lost my business, lost my job. So it was the hardest moment for sure. And I had to find something to hold myself to find like some solidity. And that's when I turned into spirituality and I started to really dive a lot deeper into the mind, into the concepts of the mind, but from a spiritual point of view, not necessarily just from a sports psychology point of view. So I started to understand a lot of the similarities that there are, the spirituality side and also the sports psychology. And because of my background in sports, I started to become fascinated with the other side. Is like, wow, when you hear about monks and the kind of stuff that they do to calm their mind down and what athletes have to do and the how it all merged in one, and to me was like, wow, this is so amazing to learn. And ever since the day that I turned 40 years old, December 10th, 2019, that's the day that I have been fully aware. That's the day that from that day forward, I never skipped one day. So when I tell you guys that every day means every day, to me, that means every day ever since that day for me. So it's been over 5 years that I don't skip a day. So I understand the concept of self accountability for myself. So I don't need anybody to tell me anything. I do it myself. So what I can tell for other coaches and for other people watching, and just get to know yourself as well. So when you know yourself, you're going to become a better coach, a better leader, a better person. So to me, it kind of happened in a way that one of my favorite books and one of my favorite authors, or should I say, my favorite, is called Michael Singer. And he has a book called The Surrender Experiment. That was the very first book that I read from him until I read all his books and did all his courses and everything. And he talks about how to calm the mind down. And one of his main concepts is you are not bothering yourself. You're bothering yourself about the world outside. So learn how to calm your mind down. Learn how to become more and more self-aware. So when I decided to move from California to Florida was because of my family. My family was my kids and my ex-wife were moving to Boston, and afterwards they were moving to Florida. So I decided to move to Florida as well. And when I got here, I bounced around a few times, a few places. I was still coaching soccer full time. And now that my kids are going to move here, I want to spend more time with them. Coaching, it's a passion of mine, but because in the past I had I'm going to say my priorities backwards. I was too focused on just the coaching side and doing whatever I could and wasn't really fully present with my kids. Now I took a turn where I am working now full time online, coaching, doing my mentoring program. So I will have more time to spend with my kids. So that's why the transition happened in a way you can call it God, the universe, but I was able to read some of the signs that were put in front of me. Things happened in a way that were kind of leading me. It's like a pull, it's like a magnet that's kind of telling you, hey, you should be going this direction. So I've learned how to read signs a little bit better, how to be more conscious about what is happening. And I've decided to take that on full time. And I love what I do. I'm very, very passionate about teaching others what I've gone through. And what I say is you can change, uh, how can I say this in a, you can change from a place of understanding rather than uh, changing from a place of pain, if that makes sense. I
Yeah,
had to
totally.
change through pain. And now I can teach others that you can also change, but just by becoming aware, not having to go to the bottom of the bottom, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It
totally.
does.
Yeah,
It does
no.
make
And
sense.
we can see here on the screen your passion,
It shows.
it
Yeah.
shows so much. And we can hear through your voice, through your tone of voice that you're very passionate about it. That's awesome.
That's incredible. You mentioned that was the book, the Surrender Experiment, and now that got me thinking. Um, when you're teaching your athletes and your clients and you're mentoring them,
Yeah.
you yourself must have a lot of knowledge yourself, right? So I can only teach something that I know. So my question for you is, how do you study? Where do you find um, the content or those pearls, those jewels that you share with your clients and your athletes?
It's Peter, I live what I teach. So to me, again, every day means every day. So I study every single day, no exception. I work out every day. So I take care of my body every single day. And when I do it, so I have two main exercise routines on a daily basis. So my very first one, my morning routine, I do my breathing, my meditation, my yoga. So when I do that one, I would say 99% of the time, I am listening to a Michael Singer lecture on spirituality. So in the morning, that's the very first thing I do. I learn one of my purposes is to I need to learn something new every day. And even though I listen to a lot of the same lectures, because of my own level of consciousness, sometimes I understand something different. So even though you might have read a book before, if you have a favorite book, read it again. Read it again because now you're not the same person as you were when you read that. So you're going to understand something a little bit different. So that's my first part is I usually listen to a lecture that's about 45 to 50 to 1 hour lecture. So I learned something there. And then when I exercise, I also do Audible. For the ones who are not familiar, Audible is an app that it reads a book for you. So instead of you having to read the book, it is on the Audible version. So I listen to a book also on a daily basis. So I do 2 books a month. So depending on the book, it's usually so my books are usually somewhere about 5 to 7 hours long listening. So I do 2 books a month. Once I'm out of a book, then I will go into listening to a podcast while I'm working out. And it's funny because you get a feeling of sometimes do I listen to music? Yes, I do. But when I start listening to music, there's a feeling that comes that goes, you're kind of wasting your time. You could be learning something new. So I go pause the music and then I put on a podcast because I'm like, I want to feed my
I
mind.
hear you. Yeah.
I want to feed with like I need more information. I need to learn more. I don't think I know enough. So to me is it's not a matter of trying to do it all in one day. So even if it's just a few minutes, if you're in the car, if you're in the shower, if you're making your bed, if you're cooking, to me, we live in an era now that a lot of people just criticize social media and YouTube. It's so bad. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If you learn, if you know how to use it, it is so great. Look at what you guys are doing. You are taking your time, you are sharing your knowledge with other people, with other coaches for free. So we live in a world that people are willing. You can get into, you can get inside their mind. You can get part of their knowledge for free. And all you have to do is look it up on YouTube, look it up on social media. So find the right channels. Is there a lot of bad things out there? Yes, of course there is. But that's how the world is. There's a lot of beauty out there, there's a lot of bad things out there. So I choose to feed my mind with positivity, with good things, learning on a daily basis. So can you do it? And you can do it for free.
That's a big part of our life. That's a yeah, and I do it.
Mic drop.
Well,
Mic
mic
drop
drop.
right there.
Yeah, because one, we do that as well. I listen to podcasts on my way to work, on the way back to work, and every time I have some opportunity to go to the gym, and I don't listen a lot on the gym because I work out with my team. So I have to pay attention to them as well. But on my way to work and my way back home, I'm always listening to something that will feed my mind in a right way. And we
Absolutely.
here we produce content all the time, not just in this podcast, but with courses, with mentorships, with other things that people have access, paying or not, and we choose this way as well. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we're part of this club of development and finding the good things to see and listen on the internet.
And also
Yeah.
the club of learning more every day, all the
Yeah,
time. Learning,
exactly.
learning,
Yeah,
learning.
oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
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 I think Thales is a great example of leading by example, right? The leadership that he talks about, he lives what he preaches. So that's a big example of leadership for me. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. Very good. All right. So just a last one before we go to the 11 questions. How do people find you? So um, is it through Instagram or just tell
Yeah.
people what
Instagram is
channel
the
can you
best
find?
way, is where I'm more active, and we'll share the handle on Instagram, but it's Thales_Peterson, my last name. And also my website is very simple. It's theoneclub.com. They can find
So
a lot more information there as well. We're working on a few new things, new projects, new videos coming up, a YouTube channel coming up as well.
yeah, let's
We're
go.
not
That's
Nice.
awesome.
we're not quite there. We're not quite there yet. I'm
Yeah.
45, so I'm not that tech savvy. So I'm learning how to do it. So we'll get there. We'll get
We'll
there.
get that. Yeah, we're in the same boat, I think. Good. So, and we're gonna put on the description of this episode on YouTube, the website, your Instagram, and then of course we're gonna share on all of our social media so people can reach you, follow you in all these channels.
Awesome.
But now we have our the 11 questions that we ask all our guests. Okay, are you ready, people? This is pepper time. All right, let's go. I'll start. So now we're gonna have 11 questions that you answer just the way you want. Okay.
Yep.
All right. The first one is tell us an important or defining moment in your life that influenced who you are today.
The day I turned 40 years old, and one day, you listening here, you will learn that the worst moment in your life will become the best. And that already happened to me, and it will happen to you. There's a teaching moment right there. It's in disguise. You will see it.
That's awesome. Ooh,
Right.
that's
That was
awesome.
really good. You took a really, really hard lemon and you made a sweet, delicious lemonade
Yeah,
out of
sure.
it. That's great.
Very
Okay,
good.
question number 2. What is or what are your bedside books or your favorite books? You already mentioned
Oh.
one, but do you have more?
So
Oh,
all
now we're gonna have to have one full page just to write down the books because I
All
know
Michael
that's a
Singer
lot.
books.
Michael Singer for sure. He is my number one. I wrote a few here also. I have some of the few that I read last. It's Unlocked by George Munford. George has another book as well, The Spiritual Athlete, which is very good. 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma is unbelievable as well. He is one of my mentor from afar. He has The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, The Wealth Money Can't Buy. Robin Sharma is a big one. Elevate Your Excellence by Dave Anderson talks a lot of the things that I talk about as well. And he has a term called ADMED. Every day means every day, which I love that. On spirituality, autobiography of a yogi, sorry, from Paramahansa Yogananda. Michael Singer has The Untethered Soul, the Surrender Experiment. The Alchemist, also from Paulo Coelho, one of my all-time favorites. Oh man, I could go on and on, but that's the list for now.
And you mentioned some podcasts too. What are some podcasts that you can
I
recommend to us?
love the School of Greatness with Lewis House. Um Tom Bilyeu is one also.
The it talks about
Impact Theory.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I listen a lot also to Joe Rogan. I listen to Rich Roll. Um, who else? Chris Will. It's the Modern Wisdom.
That's great.
Yeah, Dave Anderson has a podcast as well. Yeah, quite a few.
Cool. Set Point Podcast.
Of course.
Very good, very good. All right, so next questions. Who are your mentors?
My very first mentor was Tadeu Gonçalves. It's the guy that I learned a lot of soccer from. When I came to the US, learned a lot from him. And then because I've been in the US for so long and basically built my career here, I didn't have face-to-face mentors. So my mentors are just people that I learn from. So I'd say the two that have influenced me the most, my number one by far is Michael Singer. And then I took a lot of concepts from Robin Sharma as well. And the whole 1% concept and tiny habits and things came from James Clear. That's another book, Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. That's so good.
That's a
Yeah,
great book.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think those are,
Nice.
yeah.
That's very good. Very good. Now let's make let's run a drill here with you now. All right. So if you could change one thing in the world of sport, what would it be? And the next question, which complements this first, is fill the blank. Sport is
To me, this goes for both coaches and athletes. If I could change something in sports is don't avoid the pain. Don't avoid discomfort. Don't avoid the loss. Don't avoid uh, being down. It is going to come. It is a matter of fact. You are going to lose. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to feel bad and sorry. Learn how to deal with it. Don't avoid. Don't avoid. Learn how to deal with it. And to me, sport is life, and life is your sport. It's the same thing. In
That's so
life,
good.
we're from another country. We live in the US. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you do. You pick and choose. Are you going to face difficulties in life? Yes. When I get the car, I'll be happy. When I get married, I'll be happy. When I get kids, I'll be happy. When I get a higher paying job, I'll be happy. You won't. The goalpost keeps moving back. So you're happy
exactly
for a moment, and then guess what? It's going to change. Look outside. The world, the world we live in is made out of cycles. Day, night, spring, fall, summer. The earth is rotating. We are in constant movement. So we think when I get to a certain point, then I will be happy. But guess what? When you get to that point, that is also going to change. So just know if you're feeling great, that's going to change. If you are feeling really, really bad, that is also going to change. So learn how to deal with it. Learn how to be okay with change. To me, the only constant is change. Learn how to deal with it little by little.
I'm gonna make a note here for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very very good message for me right now at this very day that we're recording that. But yeah, so oh, and there's the other one. Sport is
Oh yeah. So, well, what would you change in the world of sport? You said that sport is life, life is sport.
Yeah, yeah.
What would be the biggest change you would make in the world of sport if you could
The
make one?
biggest change I would make in the world of sport is, I'd say, is teaching people that it is okay to face the hard moments. It is okay. You're not going to win all the time. You can try to win all the time. You can prepare to win all the time. You can do your best, whatever your best is, but feel proud, feel good about what you bring to the table, and don't expect always to win. Expect to try, expect to learn. So learn how to deal with the constant ups and downs of sports. And especially and to me is we could break it down into, if we're talking about really really high level sports or more youth American sports, is if we're going to say about youth sports, to me is let the kids play, let the kids enjoy, let them learn life lessons through sports. And the really really high level sports is, I wish it was more about competing and having a good time, rather than it became, to me it became too political, too business oriented, too that's just a term is like, to me is too dirty. Is like not playing fair, not playing by the rules, is doing things that go away from the the Olympics and how that all started without getting paid. I think athletes nowadays, they're paid millions and millions, while some other people like PE teachers, like regular teachers, are the ones who are the real heroes and changing lives. And the high level athletes, I don't think they're very great role models. So if I could change that, I would change into not paying them so much, or if we did pay them that much money, is what can you give back? What can you, as someone who has, to me, that's why Cristiano Ronaldo is a great example. He, to me, he's a great role model. You can call him
Mhm.
arrogant or whatever, but you never see him doing anything bad. He is takes care of himself. So to me, that is a role model of a really really high performance athlete that leads by example and tell others that it's possible. Not the ones that you see getting into fights and beating up people all the time. Those types of role models, I don't think they're the ones that our youth needs.
Very good, very good, very so awesome. All right, so the next question, Thales. What do you regret the most, if you have some regrets?
I regret not being able to stick to one sport and finding out how far I could have gone. But nowadays I don't feel guilty anymore. I've had a lot of that kind of feeling before, and I think a lot of people do it till this day. Is they wish things were different, but hey, guess what? They're not. Accept whatever happened happened. You made the decisions you made by the level of consciousness that you had at the time, thinking it was the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And if it turned out to be great, that's awesome. If it didn't turn out to be great, that's also awesome because it taught you a lesson. So keep on going. Don't hold on to things that are not beneficial for you anymore. Let them go. Let it go of the feeling. The event already happened, but the event left a scar in you, and that scar, it's not doing you any good, and you can let that go. So it is up to you, whatever, like I said before, who's the boss in here? In here, it's me. Who's the boss of your mind? You are. So you are able to let go of whatever is holding you back. Let that go and move forward. Starting today, make today be day one instead of one day I will. No, start where you are, accept where you are, move forward, take steps towards becoming who you are meant to be, starting right now, starting today, starting at this moment. Do we all have regrets? Yes, of course we do. We wish things were different. But can we change it? We can't change the past, but we can change our feeling about what happened.
Very good. Awesome.
Wow. Wow, that's great. So let's take this coin and flip the coin. Let's talk about pride. What are you most proud of?
My two kids, my son and daughter, really, really, that's, I think, one of my missions here on earth was to give life to those. Ariella is 13. She's about to be 14 in April. And my son, Alessandro, he just turned 9 2 days ago.
Nice. Very good.
It's very cool. Very
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome. All right. So next one is something that no one knows about you. So nobody knows that Thales.
I think now people know a lot more because I talk a lot more about spirituality and God. I am really, really a man of faith. My faith is so huge that Peter, you mentioned that our stories are similar. So when I left, so this is my whole story. I left Florida to go to California, packed 2 suitcases, right? Stayed in California for over 15 years. When I moved back to Florida, I came back, I drove, right? I drove back, and all I carried with me was everything that I could fit in one car. So I left everything behind, all my belongings. There was a friend of mine who was getting divorced at the time, and he was just moving to a new place. So I told him, I was like, hey, you know what? You take it. Some way, somehow, I'm going to get it all back. So I left all my belongings to him, got everything I could in the car, and drove back to Florida. And God has helped me already. So I've been able to get it all back some way, somehow. So my faith is something that I have tons of. So I trust. It's something that I say is when you're rowing, you need two roles. One is myself. So one role that I hold is myself, and the other one is the grace of God. So I always go both at the same time. It's not just me, and it's not just asking God for things. Is I do my part, and then He does His as well. He always does.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
great.
very good.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Fill the blank. Family is
Everything. Family is the most important thing that you have. If you have a family, if you have kids, if you have a wife, if you have your family around you, and we are in a little bit different position because we live in another country. So it is difficult to be away from them, especially birthdays, holidays, Christmas, special occasions like that. So cherish your family, be around them, even though they might be driving you crazy, getting to ask you all kinds of questions and where you are, what you're doing. Believe me, enjoy that. Because when you don't have it, it's tough, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna
tough
hurt.
being away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we all know. We all three of
Oh
us
yeah.
know. Right?
We all know
Yeah.
too well.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
I just came back from visiting family in Brazil, and man, that resonates here hard, hard
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough with them, but it's a lot tougher without them. I
without them.
promise you.
Yeah, true.
100%.
Yeah. Well, next question. What question would you want someone asking you?
Oh, to me is how do I really become self-accountable and how can I really be honest with myself? I think we all hide behind things. We all find excuses. And the moment that you stop, the moment that you take full accountability for everything that happened in your life, that you did it. But here's the thing, you can change it. So don't feel guilty about it. Be honest. If you really, really want to change, if you really want to become better, you can do it. There is no excuse in the world that's going to be bigger than your willpower. You have the power to do anything that you wish. If you're not doing, that's you. So when you understand that I am in charge, I am in control of what happens here, what happens outside, I am not. I am not in control of anything. I am in control of what happens here. So one of Michael Singer's uh, phrases is, "You are not bothered. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment in front of you." Look outside. Look at the beauty outside. Look at everything going on. Look at our whole body. Our whole body, we have more than 25 trillion cells that know how to work with each other. They communicate. Our muscles. One cell says, hey, you contract and I expand. How's that possible? How is that going on without us doing a single thing? We're not controlling your breathing. We're not controlling your heartbeat. We're not controlling anything. So, what are you really in charge of? Your mind. So, can you change your mind? Can you be better than you were? Yes, you can. But don't do it all in one day. Don't try to do it all in one day, but do it every day.
One day at a time. One
That's
more day,
One
all.
one more
day, one
battle.
battle, 1%.
1% better. Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it.
That's it.
Very good.
And it can be 0.0001. It doesn't matter. But keep going. You don't have to go fast. You just can't stop.
Very good. Very good. Awesome.
Nice. So, Dallas, we are in this project here at Sat Point Podcast. This is year 2 of Sat Point Podcast. We've been blessed with so many incredible guests. Very grateful for the opportunity to learn because that's our first goal
Yeah,
is to learn from every guest that comes on here and also sharing that knowledge with as many people as we can. And we count on our guests to help make this project grow. So, would you please recommend 2 people to come on here and have a chat like this one that we have here on Sat Point Podcast?
absolutely. So I have Eduardo is a friend of mine. Now he's working for São Paulo FC in Brazil.
We
He
like it. We like it.
yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
good.
He has his own methodology. He is one of my best friends, one guy that I can always count on. is a guy that I look up to. He is very, very knowledgeable about everything soccer related, but also life related. And he's a family man as well. So he is one that I would 100% recommend. And then, would you guys want someone from the sports world, or does it have to be, uh, what kind of guests are you guys?
And
I'll answer that.
okay.
Anybody you think could contribute to coaches and athletes to get better at what they do and in their personal lives, whatever you think would be valuable.
Okay, okay. Then I have another one is my friend Adrianinho. He played professional in Brazil for over 20 years. He's one of the biggest idols for Ponte Preta,
Oh
as
yeah.
we
Good.
know very well, played for Corinthians, played for Flamengo. He's one that I look up to as well. Growing up, uh, he was very, very, very talented, and he reached the highest level. So he played at the level that we all dream of playing. So he played professionally for a very long time. So he's one for sure, and I will get you guys in touch with both of those guys.
Awesome. That's
It's
great.
great.
All right, so we have most of our audience here is made of coaches, volleyball coaches. Today we went a little past a volleyball coach, which is great. Would love to get other knowledge, other types of knowledge to add to our tool belt. And we have athletes. We have a lot of people that will listen to that in English and will use those tools that you talk so much about and add to their tool belt as well. So leave a message to all of those people.
Everyone, coaches, players, mentors, everybody, get to know yourself a little bit better. Dig in deep. Don't just accept everything that's going around you. Don't agree with everything. I come from a family that my dad is there. He's retired. My mom and dad are retired, but my dad is a doctor, my mom is a dentist, my sister is a lawyer, and my other sister is a doctor. And I went completely against the grain, and I decided to be a PE teacher because I followed my heart. I followed my passion. I wanted to do what would give me fulfillment. So find what you are capable of and lead with your passion. Find what your purpose is. To me, when you guys asked about the biggest regret, don't regret something that you didn't do. Regret something that you did. Go ahead and try. Try. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, that is also great because it's telling you exactly which direction to go. If it works out, you're on the right path. But if it's not, if it doesn't work out, that is also great because now you know where not to go so you can change. So find your passion, find your purpose by trying, by put into action. Don't just read about it, do it, and do it on a daily basis. You are capable of so much more than you think you can. So don't let any limiting beliefs stop you. Believe in the most important thing. Believe in yourself. You are great. You are meant to be great. God didn't create you just to come here and pay bills and be average and be worried about it. He has a purpose for you. He has a higher calling for you. And how do you find what that is? Is by unlocking who you are. And how do you do that? You become better than you were the day before every single day. So every day is a blessing that He's giving you. Take advantage of that. Work on yourself. be better than you were before by at least 1%.
That's great. That's an excellent way to finish this podcast. Thales, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. We've been in contact for, I don't know, a couple of years now, and we've never seen each other in person. That's great. And we have that strong connection. It's
Yeah.
really hard to explain. It's really, really hard to explain that kind of thing. We have some common friends, of course, but that bond that we created this last few years, talking, just mentoring each other in a few moments, not a lot, but some key moments that made a difference in each other's life. And it's so great to see someone that it's devoting his time to add to people's lives, to bring something that's really key for every athlete, for every coach, for every person in general, actually, and putting that into a methodology that it's really well established and really well developed to bring the best out of people on the court, outside of the court, in life, and in your work, and whatever field that you want to apply those ideas. So, congratulations for everything you've been doing in your life. Congratulations on all the changes that you have done in yourself and inspiring people to do the same themselves. So it's really, really remarkable. And this little history that we have, you have made a big impact in my life and continue to do a big impact in my life. So thank you so much. Good luck in your project. We're going to be following your Instagram, your work, your website, everything that you produce. We're going to be following, and I'm going to be there cheering for you, and maybe in the near future doing something even closer to you. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. It was
You,
great.
you know that it's even hard to find words for what's going on in my head and my heart right now. The career that you chose for your fulfillment, for your personal fulfillment, is helping change people's lives. Furthermore, it's helping change, and I know that you work with a lot of youth athletes, with a lot of young athletes, and I know that we work. I work with youth sports since 2004, more than 20 years now, and that's a moment in the life of an athlete or a person where they're deciding who they want to become as an adult. They're learning from the people around them and having somebody, a mentor like you, for this hour that we spent together. It's it's mind blowing, you know. And so, thank you for choosing a path of your own fulfillment, because you're definitely making a difference on the lives of everybody that come in contact with you. So, thank you for that. Wishing you, man, all only good things, only good things, all the good things, and only good things in everything that you do, your personal life, your professional life, your career, your projects, everything that you do. I know that it's gonna be even bigger than you can imagine, or that you're foreseeing. Like you said, there's a purpose written for you, and little by little,
1% at
right?
a time.
1%,
Little by little,
one
yeah.
day, one battle, you're getting closer to it. And thank you for sharing that with us and with our audience. Dallas, wishing you the best, man. If you were here, I would give you a strong handshake, and I would ask, can I give you a hug? And if you said yes, man, I would break your
He's
ribs now, right
Brazilian. Of
now.
course, he's gonna say
Of
So,
yes.
course, I hug
so
everyone all the
okay.
time.
So I would break your ribs, because what you said, especially today, it was incredible for me personally. So thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you. I admire what you guys do as well. And like I said before, the fact that you guys take the time, and the ones that don't know, I am going to say it is we started recording this at 6 a.m. where Feijão is. So the fact that the guy takes his own time, doesn't have to, he wants to. You guys don't have to do this. you want to do this and you want to help others. So to me is we're working on ourselves and automatically we're helping others. So as a coach, that's why I said when you work on yourself, when you lead by example, you are helping your players, you're helping your students just by the fact that you are willing to be a better person. Everyone else around you will be better. So I thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit more. And it to me is like the sun. The sun, when there's dark somewhere, you bring a little bit of light and people go, oh wow. No, what we're doing is the sun was always there. All you got to do is stop blocking it. Start seeing a little bit more. Start seeing you have a lot of light inside, but it's you are blocking yourself, and start removing that, and all of a sudden you're going to see you have tons of light in there. We all do. And it's a matter of, are you willing to do it? If you are, you're going to find out how great you can be. And so I thank you guys for doing what you're doing. I admire. I am a big fan. Feijão, we talk all the time via messages and stuff, and I say, hey man, I love what you do. That is such an example talking about leadership, and I learn constantly from him. And Peter, just like a true pleasure getting to know you as well and getting to know what you guys do and the purpose and the reason why you guys do it. That to me is incredible. It's amazing. I am a huge fan. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you for all these kind words, and thank you for all the lessons that you gave us here in this episode. Just a little bit of his vast knowledge. That was amazing. So, guys, thank you so much for following this episode until this point. Uh, Make sure you share, you comment on this episode, you send to everybody, that everyone, not just volleyball players and coaches, but people in general need to listen to this message. And if you want to come to the United States, you Brazilian that understands English and are listening to our this episode, or if you American or other countries have Brazilian friends who want to come to the United States, tell them to click in this QR code that stayed in the screen for the entire episode and talk to Lucas Negrin to explore the how many options Peter Bristocchi?
187.
187 possible options to come legally to the United States. So talk to Lucas from Nexus Next, and he's the guy to help you. All right. So thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure.
Guys, this is one of those episodes for you to come back every time and learn something new. So do it, share it with everybody, and remember to come and check the next one.
All right. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.